Alright, this is Kevin Douglas, playing some vintage Goblins. So, we're on the play, doesn't look like a great hand. It'd be great if we had one more land or like a source of fast mana. But I think we're going to have to mulligan. So this is a pretty similar hand, just one less card. But I think we have to keep and hope that Scry can find us a land. So we'll put that on bottom. Unfortunately, since our only land is this cavern, it kind of gives us away that we're on goblins. And without a turn one play, it's maybe not going to go so well for us, but we'll see. So Flooded Strand is pretty good for us if that's all they've played. Unfortunately, we didn't draw land, so we're kind of just stuck in pass go. Alright, so Flooded Strand, Underground Sea. Not quite sure what we're playing yet, but a Goblin Lackey is a great draw. So if this can stick around till next turn, we might not be in too bad a shape. So I think if we're able to connect with this Goblin Lackey, just based on what's in our hand right now, I think I'll probably play a Warchief. Just because that'll set us up for the next turn to play Goblin Piledriver and at least get a pretty good clock going. So Strip Mine in the Cavern's pretty bad, but if they don't have an answer for Lackey, then we're not in too bad of shape. So we'll see if we get a Swords here. Echoing Truth. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I think we're going to pitch a Warchief. It's kind of a debate between that and the Thorn, and I think I'd rather have the Thorn. But if they're resolving a tutor, I'm guessing that we're probably not going to be able to come back from this. So that was a great draw. And we'll see if we can't get this Goblin Lackey going again. Alright, so they were able to tutor and such a recall. So there's the Swords. Yeah, we're just we're pretty far behind right now. So kind of how this game is played out just makes me think that maybe we should have just mulliganed that 6 cards away as well. I mean, this is the kind of deck we run a lot of lock pieces, and we actually do have quite a bit of mana. So, you know, even though we're kind of down on cards, if we were able to get like a lock piece out, then maybe it'd buy us like enough time to get our plan going. I'm going to guess that they're probably going to go either tutor or ancestral recall here. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't go Demonic Tutor. think we can probably get rid of a Matron here. But it just seems like with the tutor they could get like a very specific answer instead of drawing 3 random cards. They're already so far ahead in cards. And it seems like maybe having that like specific answer is better. Like maybe even going for a Wasteland if they have it. So we're probably not going to be able to fight through a Jace. So let's go ahead and say good game. And we'll just go on to game 2. Not really sure that I need to really change any sideboard playing here. Or changing any specific sideboard plan. They didn't really strike me as like a combo deck. They might be running Mentor. But they just kind of seem to be like a fair blue deck. In which case I think like the hate that we already have is pretty good. So we'll see if our draw isn't a little bit more friendly this game. So we have... So here's where the mana is pretty awkward, where this would be a great hand if we just had some white mana. But I think we'll have to mulligan this one too. So we'll keep this, go for turn 1 Lackey, and then hopefully get the Ringleader down and build our hand back up. Although we could cast the Goblin Ringleader with our Black Lotus and a Cavern. So I think I'm going to try to get the Lackey down first. And then that way, next turn, before attacks, we can play our Ringleader. And maybe have a good target for this Lackey to put into play. So we've got the white mana for swords. But they're going to brainstorm. So that's pretty good for us, I think. I'm actually wondering if I didn't want to bring in some of those wear tears just in case they're running worship. So hopefully we can just get pretty fast here. So I think I'll Wasteland the Tundra, then Black Lotus Cavern of Souls for the Goblin Ringleader. Yep, so that's pretty good. And so, kind of like I was mentioning last game, I wonder if I want these wear tears, just in case they're running like worship. I think I'll replace the Gempalm Incinerator with it, just to have at least one out. So we have a turn 1 Chalice if we want it. It's a little bit awkward with our Lackey since we don't have a Cavern of Souls. What do you need, bud? Goldfish. You can come get them. But I think we'll keep. And save 10% with offer code Spotify. Make your next move. Make your next website. Yeah, so I think we'll play a Chalice on 1. If it gets countered, then we'll be able to play our Lackey. But if it doesn't get countered, I think it's still probably better than the Lackey right now. And next turn we can follow it up with the Wasteland if they crack the Flooded Strand. And then hopefully we'll just draw into a Cavern at some point. But it does get Force of Willed, and they get rid of a Dig Through Time. So if they don't crack the Sludge Strand, then we'll go with our Plateau into Goblin Lackey. And then next turn we'll have a choice between Krenko or Goblin Ringleader, if it lives. So I did go for the Tundra though. We'll see if they have the swords. They do. So they're down to 3 cards. I think I'm gonna Wasteland. We actually have a lot of mana sources, and I kind of want to limit their ability to cast spells, especially when they're down to 3 cards. I could take a turn to cast this Piledriver. But I'm kind of going to bank on running more land than they run. So they're down to 2 cards, 3 cards now, only green mana. So really we just need to draw some land, and I think we're in pretty good shape. So I think I'm going to play this Null Rod. Take him off that Mox Emerald. We got a pretty slow clock going right now. So kind of a bummer they found that mana confluence. Is the show all done, bud? All done. But we'll be able to strip mine that. All done. So they floated the white, kind of presenting swords just in case, or we had another like 1-drop goblin. Alright, so now we'll play out this Goblin Piledriver. So I've got the Force. So that does kind of put us in a bad spot now. It is a pretty slow clock with that Snapcaster Mage, but we also need to draw 2 lands now to cast even our Goblin Matron. Alright, so we'll see if this Lackey lives. So that's definitely going to keep them from attacking. So I was going to buy us some turns to hopefully get some mana to find get this Matron into play. So I think a Thalia is probably what I really want to draw right now, or like a Thorn.
All done.
Hey, so there's our Thalia.
All done.
All done? Did your movie finish?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get another one going here in a minute. So we've got a pretty good lock going right now. We're going to be able to start swinging on a Thalia. They still can't attack because they can't let our Goblin Lackey through. And without drawing a land, they're in pretty bad shape. So this is shaping up pretty well. Oh man, I just clicked through cast that Matron. So I was going to look for a Goblin Warchief. Hopefully we're not going to be too punished for that. I don't think we will be. It just kind of like makes our clock a little bit slower. So I think what I'm actually going to do is grab our... Nope, I took it out. So I was thinking I could get the Goblin that does the direct damage when you cycle it to get rid of Snapcaster Mage and swing with the Goblin Lackey, and then that would get our Krenko into play. But I think I am just going to have to go Warchief here. And I feel like I could probably start swinging with this Goblin Lackey. I mean, he's going to have to trade. No, I think I'm going to leave it in there just so it's a little bit better when I have my Krenko. I can just make a few more tokens. So now they have a mana, they're able to kind of cast a Force of Will, if they have it. So we'll see if they Force of Will this Goblin Warchief. They're going to be able to dig into a little bit of land now, maybe. But if we're able to play this Krenko next turn, I think that's probably game. So they're probably going to need another force. So I get rid of a Yawgmoth's Will and Mana Drain. So I'm tempted to, I mean, I definitely want a Wasteland. We'll see if they want to draw a card. If they draw a card, then it's going to be safe to cast the Krenko. If they float the mana, then it still might get countered. So perfect. So this is going to clear the way for this Krenko. And that should be game. Yeah, so they just went to Force, but they didn't have any mana floating. Cool. So we won the match. And kind of showing us our hand there. There's a lot of good cards, but no way to cast them. So kind of like we hope. So good games.